From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
American Door Company has been family-owned and operated for over 29 years, supplying Northern California with quality garage doors, garage door openers, and installed with the best service you'd expect from a locally owned company. We serve all of Northern California from Willows all the way up to the Oregon state line. Give us a call today.
Well, good morning, everyone. Before we get into the forecast, I just want to remind you of all the different ways you can get Weather NorCal. Of course, there's weathernorcal.com. Then, of course, you can go to youtube.com/@weathernorcal. There's a great 24-hour channel that I've got, and be sure to check that out. You can get that on YouTube, number one. You can also get it on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, and eventually coming to Apple TV. And here's another thing. You got a phone? Yeah, most of us do. I've got a mobile app for you. You can download the app, and you can get it for your Apple device or your Android device. Just search for Weather NorCal, and you'll find it in your App Store or the Google Play Store, all 100% free. Now, on a day today, it's good to have it because you'll get all the latest watches and warnings as far as any red flag warnings are concerned. If there are any severe thunderstorm warnings, you'll get those updates. You can track the thunderstorms should they start developing here this afternoon on the interactive radar. You can get your hour-by-hour forecast. The works. Be sure to check it out. Possible mountain thunderstorms today. It's warmer this weekend, a bit of a warming trend, and then it's starting to cool off as we get into the beginning of next week. Today is the beginning of the warming trend. Not quite 100 degrees, but we're in the mid to upper 90s in the valley, and temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s, low 90s for the mountains, and everyone is seeing at least a chance for thunderstorms. That doesn't mean every single one of us in the mountains are going to see lightning strikes or thunderstorms or even rain, but the chances are there. Now, taking a look at the satellite right now, we're not seeing much in the way of cloud cover this morning, but that will change. The moisture is there. The thing is, it's called water vapor, and it's a gaseous state of water. So you can't see it until we start condensing that and we start seeing the clouds developing and eventually the showers and thunderstorms. So we have some red flag warnings, which we're going to get into here in a second. You may recall a couple of weeks ago we talked about red flag warnings, but that's because of the low humidity and gusty winds. Now we're more concerned about number two, which is widely scattered thunderstorms in 15% or more of the area, and we're certainly going to see that. So here's the red flag warning, eastern Siskiyou and Modoc County. Now keep in mind, that doesn't mean that western Siskiyou, that doesn't mean that Trinity County won't see activity. It also doesn't mean that Lassen and Plumas County won't see any activity as well, because we will. I think that we will. But the red flag warnings are in effect for 11 o'clock this morning until 11 o'clock tonight. Now, I think the Storm Prediction Center, which puts this out, they're out of Norman, Oklahoma. They're a branch of the National Weather Service. I think they're overdoing it on how far these thunderstorms will come down. But this is kind of the overall general idea of where we can expect the activity to be today, and the best chances for mountain thunderstorms are in that same general area. Now, as we go into Saturday, once again, I think it's overdoing it. One thing you have to keep in mind when you look at this doesn't mean that every single location here is going to see thunderstorms and it's going to just be widespread. It's just saying that the potential is there for at least some sort of activity. The severity of it is when we start getting into the yellows and oranges and reds, and we rarely even get into the deep greens. So again, this just tells you that the overall coverage of the potential for activity, and this is the overall potential for dry lightning on Saturday as well. And then as we go into Sunday, looks like most of that activity will be up to our north. All right, so take a look at futurecasts. Let's walk you through the timing of it. Today, what we're going to notice as we go into the noon hour, you're going to start noticing in the mountains, and if you're in the valley, you'll see it off in the distance, these towering cumulus clouds that we see around here a lot, right? But we may start to see a few showers and thunderstorms begin to develop at this point. And as we go through the afternoon, those chances start to increase. Now, what we're noticing here is in the northeastern portion of the state, Modoc, northern Lassen County, the best chances. We could see some activity, though, for Siskiyou, and not to mention a little bit of activity developing in northern Trinity County. Now we go into 6 p.m. this evening. Once again, this is where the bulk of the activity is here, but we could see more to the south. We could see more into the western portions of Siskiyou County, and not to mention northern Trinity County as well. Now we go into 10 o'clock tonight. It's gone. We're getting a break. But then as we go into Saturday, we're going to see the same type of situation where by the noon hour on Saturday, the towering cumulus clouds I was telling you about. But most likely not seeing thunderstorms at this point. Now, as we go into the afternoon on Saturday, yes, we're seeing Siskiyou, Modoc, Lassen, all seeing that potential. And again, we could see some activity in northern Trinity County. But what you'll notice is it's not as widespread. So we're not going to see as many thunderstorms on Saturday. And then we take a look at futurecasts going into Sunday. It's all pretty much gone, and we don't have that in the forecast. All right, real quickly, let's talk about the temperatures. You know, all week long we've been talking about the cooling trend. It peaked yesterday, and now we're in the beginning phases of a warming trend starting today. Not 100 degrees today, but over the weekend it's going to be rather hot for the valley, up to 106 by Sunday, but temperatures start to drop through the middle of next week. But then they go right back up again. You get the idea. We're seeing that trend here where we're seeing the temperatures kind of going up and down with that roller coaster ride. Let's take a look at your forecast for your Friday, and there it is for the valley. I've got mid to upper 90s. This is one of those days you need to be weather aware, especially in the mountains. If you have a hike planned or if you work outdoors in the mountains, you need to keep an eye to the sky. Make sure you've got that the Weather NorCal app downloaded. It will give you alerts as to when these thunderstorms are approaching. It'll give you alerts if there's a thunderstorm warning. It gives you all the advance warning that you're going to need. But again, everyone's seeing these lightning strikes? Most likely not, but the chances are there for Trinity County, especially north of Highway 299, but then Siskiyou, Modoc, Lassen, eastern Plumas County, even northeastern Shasta County could see some activity. Now, is it entirely out of the question for the valley to see any activity? No, it's not out of the question. It could happen. It's something, again, I'll be monitoring here through the afternoon. So again, keep that app handy, and of course, I'll keep you updated throughout the afternoon. Here's what it looks like, your 7-day outlook. Isolated thunderstorms today, maybe tomorrow as well. That's the case for pretty much everywhere in the mountains, but the best chances are today. After that, by Sunday through next week, I'm expecting dry conditions for the mountains. Now for the valley, I don't have any thunderstorms in the forecast for you, but as I mentioned, not entirely out of the question, but something I'll be monitoring. But for now, I don't have it in the forecast. Then you can see the temperatures increasing. We're up to 106. That's the peak of the warming trend that we're in right now. And we're going to be back up to 106 Sunday for Redding, 105 for Red Bluff, 103 in Chico, but temperatures will start to drop again. But you see how the temperatures drop by Wednesday. That's the peak of the cooling trend. And then they start to go back up, believe it or not, by the time we get into Thursday and even into Friday of next week.